So you found yourself in the fairway and it's now time to grab either an iron, a hybrid or a fairway wood, and you can start to feel a little bit anxious because maybe you've got inconsistent contact, you've fatted a few, you've topped a few. Don't worry, you're not alone. I had a student come and see me this week, Sophia, who's in exactly the same position for two reasons. The first reason is she's got a complete misunderstanding of what strike is. She's been told that she's got to have lots of shaft lean, she's got to hit down on the ball, she's got to get her weight forward. All of that was actually ruining her strike. So what I did in this session, I'm going to show you today, is I gave her a real simple drill to really master this downswing and get rid of one of the biggest misconceptions in the world of golf. I'm going to share with you what that is today because I just know it's going to help. But before I do, if you're new to the channel, for your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing. I release videos just like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. But you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free download practice guide in the description box below. So before I get into the 2 steps that I gave Sophia to help her strike it consistently, let me just kind of debunk a misconception, okay? To strike a ball off the fairway, all you need is roughly about 4 degrees of the club head coming down, 4 degrees. Not 10, not 11, just 4 degrees. The shaft to strike the ball then the ground needs to be no more than about 10 degrees this way, not massively ahead. You don't have to exaggerate this. This is what Sophia was doing because that's what she'd been told to do. It is minute, right? So what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you how I got Sophia consistently delivering just the perfect amount to strike every single club off the ground much, much more solid and effectively. Now, the first thing we did was explain ultimately how the arms work. The arms are responsible for the up motion in the golf swing look like this. If I do this, my arms are working up and the body look takes the club around, all right? So the simple thing I want you to feel, and if you can do this with me now, that'd be amazing. Grab a golf club, and all I want you to do is this. Take a club, and maybe even trail hand to start with, and simply do this. And let the elbow fold a little bit, let the wrist come back, and let the club almost kind of fall backwards here, right? Now, all we're doing in a golf swing is this. This is your downswing. Your elbow reconnects to your body, the arm straightens, and the club naturally, as a byproduct, gets thrown. This is your downswing. So your elbow's off your chest, hits onto your chest, arm straightens, club falls down. From this angle, look at this. Elbow's off the chest, here, goes around, elbow reconnects, but does not hang on. It arm straightens, and that then throws the club. From here, look, in a golfing stance, we're back here, look. First thing that happens, elbow reconnects, arm straightening, and that gets the club thrown back into impact. So learning that simple sensation, hold it in 2 hands now. We simply take the club up like this, the arms bend upwards here, the elbow reconnects to the side as the club looks and gets thrown, as the arm naturally straightens. So here's what I did with Sophia to kind of blend this into the first start of her really starting to compress every shot off the fairway. So we got her to make a nice simple turn in the back. So she had a pretty good turn already. So we got to take this trail shoulder, move it behind her here. And then all I did was this, right, Sophia? Most of the time what you're doing is this. You're trying to hit so far down on the golf ball that your body's turning like this. You're turning too soon. And that's getting you very, very steep. That's why you're slicing. Sometimes you're driving, you're taking big chunks, or sometimes even topping the golf ball, okay? What we want to do here is this is all you need to do. From here, the right arm is straightening. The elbow can reconnect to the side. The right arm straightens. The club gets thrown. This, by the way, right there is impact. Look at this. This is impact. Because all you do now, watch this. I'm not going to do anything now with my arms. Boom. There we are. I've got enough shaft lean. I've got hit enough down on that golf ball. I'm going to strike a beautiful shot. Look how simple that is. So we've made a turn. Our arms here are straightening. The club gets thrown, and all I'm going to do now, look at this, turn my right side onto the golf ball. I don't do anything. I'm not trying to drive my handle forward in any shape or form. It is as simple as that. So the way I did this with Sophia was simply just to get her initially, just to kind of sense this motion of the elbow folding, the club back here, and then look, the club is always following the arms. It's almost like, if you look at this, it's like, imagine pulling an arrow out of a quiver, okay? My arm is straightening here like this, and I'm throwing it down. So I got her initially just to kind of feel this motion, because like a lot of golfers, you know, sometimes what she'd do is she would flick the wrists, okay? That would break, you know, the quiver. What we're doing in reality here, look, is we are pulling it out of the quiver, which the arm is straightening. And the final thing, the club naturally gets thrown. I'm not hanging on to those angles, the club gets thrown. So I just got a kind of sensing this beautiful motion, and then look, naturally then just turning onto the shot. So it goes down here and turn onto the shot. So once she's got the feeling, I then needed to develop the pattern. Her pattern, as we said, she'd get to the top, she'd turn here. So I said, Sophia, it's down and around, down and around. So you're swinging out, you got to the top and you're gonna go down and around. And of course, you need to blend those motions. It's not down and around. We tried to then gradually blend it. It's down and around. And at no stage is she trying to hit down on the golf ball or compress it. This is now naturally happening. So let's look at this in action. So we get her to do a few swings. Up, down, and around. Let's have a look at this. So get ourselves set. Up, down, and around. Absolutely beautifully compressed. Now, I've actually, on that last one there, I compressed it. But I, as a good player, have turned that over slightly. And I see this a lot sometimes. So what I've done there is as opposed to straightening my arm, I have dragged it a little bit in here. When it's dragged, I have to excessively flick. So different to Sophia, who is doing this, good players tend to drive too much. So when you want compression and accuracy, letting this arm straighten here to create this beautiful low or bottom to the swing, that is how we're going to get not only just consistent strike, but also consistent direction. So we're working up, down, and around. Beautiful. Okay, so now, do you think Sophia got this straight away? Of course she didn't. So what we did is the two things. One, she was rushing her downswing a little bit, and two, her grip wasn't quite right. So I'm going to cover those two things. So they're hugely, hugely important. But what we did initially was get her to get in a rhythm. We got to repeat this process of just letting that sensation come in here. Look, I'm coming in here and then I'm turning. It's kind of, that's the pattern. As opposed to turn down, she would go then down and then around from here. It's down and around. Building that and then gradually blending that in. And I would start, certainly with her, certainly on the range, we just started to do some small shots where I kind of back here, and I just did that. I really just started to tap a few down there initially, just getting that sensation of going down, then around. Now, because she was rushing it, all I did was this. A lot of times when people are doing this motion here, they are snatching really from the top. What I did with here, so Sophia, just kind of just sense that motion. Look, the elbows reconnect, the arms straighten, and then the club gets thrown. Feel that motion. The arrows coming out of the quiver, and then gradually build that in. Look, the arrow is coming out. It's not being flicked. It's coming out of the quiver. There we go, right? We're not trying to hit down. We're just literally, that's going to happen naturally, yeah? Now, the final thing in this process, now, I gave Sophia this right at the beginning, which is basically grip. If you don't have the right grip with this, none of it actually works. So when Sophia was holding the club initially, it was way too high in the palms. So what I did was here, it's way too high up here. All I want you to do to get a perfect grip with the lead hand particularly is to put the club out at 45 degrees. You can even see the marks on my glove here where I'm gripping it. Hold the club in the fingers here across the base finger and underneath the pad. Now what this allowed me to do is get this pad right on top of the grip. Why is that important? Well, this allows you to get that hinging motion to throw the club. When Sophia had it like this, she had no chance of really hinging, therefore she would always kind of strike it poorly. So very, very important, 45 degrees, simple that, put it at the crux of your hand, base of your little finger here, so your pad's on top and you're ready to go, all right? So, in summary, it's very, very simple. We strike the ball then the ground, yes, but it's minute, tiny 4 degrees down, slight shaft lean, not much. The way you achieve this, get a sense of this trail arm, or the arms here, the trail arm, it straightens. This is an arrow pulling out of the quiver. that lets the club fall. And then look, you're simply just turning onto the shot and you've got more than you need to strike consistent contact every single time. Feel that rhythm, 1, and then turn onto that shot. Build it up gradually, and this will work with every single club in your bag. Simple as that. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with one of your friends, and of course, look, if you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button and the bell. If you'd like to see how this works with driver, click this video right here, and remember there's a free download practice guide in the description box below. But until next week, have a wonderful golfing week.